Well, hello, Jockie. It's so good to get to chat to you.
Oh, it's good to chat to you too, Cheryl-Ann Webster. And I'm just delighted we can do this techie thing.
Me too. There's always some techie challenges, but we're going to ride the storm if we get any more. So let's start. Well, please introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about your connection to the Nova Scotia area.
Well, I am a Nova Scotian through and through, although I've been transplanted many times. I am from the Annapolis Valley area, from the head of the valley, from a little community called Falmouth. It was a little community back then. It's not so little anymore. And to help you understand the Falmouth I come from, I'm going to read you just a little bit from one of the early stories in my book called Rural Roots.
Wonderful. Go ahead.
I think the community became home when I was about 9. Not through any significant event, but gradually. As I became aware that the community of Falmouth, at the head of Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley, was my home, its landscape, its school, and its village social life intertwined with my own family in connections like a spreading tangle of tree roots. Falmouth, encircled in the distance by ancient, worn-away, wooded, blue and purple hills, had 500 or so inhabitants back then. It flowed into the adjacent villages without any discernible divisions. But it was separated from the town of Windsor by the river. Twice a day, the Avon River filled and emptied with muddy salt water. Its tidal bore rolled over sandy mudflats, and waters rose to lick soft chocolate pudding mud banks, reaching heights the folks in town claimed were the highest tides in the world. On our side of the river, a prominent sign beside the highway declared Falmouth, halfway between the equator and the North Pole. When I was young, our family swam in the silt-laden river at a place we called the Point, a little spit of land below a gravel pit. I loved swimming with my father, clutching tightly to his shoulders as he executed a powerful breaststroke. I remember his hand supporting my flailing body, then subtly pulling away when he saw I was dog paddling on my own. There, you can swim. And I could. And here is the picture that goes with that particular story.
Oh.
But I'm going to show you more than that. I'm going to show you the original, which is right here.
Oh, a little higher for us.
How's that?
Wow, it looks like you're swimming in chocolate pudding.
Wonderful place to swim. It was so buoyant.
Wow, you are such a storyteller. That's just beautiful. You drew me in with all the imagery of your words. I could feel the water. I could just imagine that chocolate pudding soil. I'm not going to forget that for a long time. So clearly you've been a storyteller for a long time.
I've been a storyteller and a writer for a long time. Since I was a kid, I always loved to write. And the stories that are in this book started in writing, a writing group in Regina, excuse me. And they kept accumulating over the years, over about 20 years, until I had 3 binders full of stories. And I kept saying, oh, someday I should gather some of those into a book. Well, when I was approaching my 79th birthday, I realized someday had arrived. And if I was going to do it, I better get cracking. So I set myself the goal. When I turned 80, I wanted to have that book published. And that's what I've done.
Wow. I mean, how many times have we said someday? And someday came in your 79th year. That's good to know. I guess it could come at any time, but I'm glad you recognized it when you did. So, I mean, obviously you had the stories written. You had stories within you, but what inspired you to actually create the book? I mean, obviously someday put the book together, but this particular book, Valley Child, and the way you've put it together, what was the inspiration there?
Well, I realized that as I was reading over my stories, I was also seeing images, and I thought, I want to illustrate this too. And so I set about creating the paintings during 2015 and 2016. And there are 32 of them, and a separate one for the cover, so 33 in all.
So, I mean, most people who write a book focus on the words and the story and the content, but you as an artist and writer created 33 paintings and hand-drawn illustrations, and all those together is what creates Valley Child. That just astounds me.
Well, it was a lot of fun and a wonderful creative exercise. I also was most fortunate. I had professionals to help, a marvelous editor, photographer, and a layout and design person who helped me put the book together.
Oh, well, I'm sure they were all hugely helpful, but I think it's time to pat yourself on the back. The core of what it is the content, the storytelling, the way the words and the art is crafted. That's what we're celebrating here today, and well done for that. I'm glad that someday, and someday I'll get to see it in its entirety. So, I mean, obviously you've been writing for a while and you've been painting for a while, but is this your first published book?
It is. It is. I've published articles and stories and poems over the years, but I'd never put a book together.
What an achievement. Absolute achievement. And for those of you who haven't had the chance to see Jockie's work before, the paintings are 3-dimensional. They're not typical flat paintings in any which way. They are 3-dimensional paintings. They're sculptures.
Yes, and they're made quite simply, really, with an air drying clay attached to the canvas and then painted in acrylic.
I love the way you say quite simply. To the rest of us, we're thinking, it's the creating of that idea of pulling that together. There's no simplicity about it, and such a beautiful, vibrant piece. And so, of course, I know I can purchase the book either online or at the events that you're attending, or even the ones you're not attending, like the one that we're doing this recording for. But can we purchase the artwork?
No, I'm sorry you can't, except for one piece, which I've had digitally reproduced, and that's the painting that's on the cover.
Oh, look at that.
This wraps around.
Oh, yes, I see right here in the edges. Nice.
And it's a lovely, lovely reproduction, and that's the only bit of the art that will be for sale.
That is the reproduction?
That's a digital reproduction on canvas.
Wow.
Yes.
So it's not like I'm going to get a flat piece of paper of your image. I'm going to get a canvas of your canvas reproduction.
It is, and it's about an inch, a little over an inch thick, and with hanger on the back. It's beautifully done.
Well, I feel a little bit better now. But how do I get to see the other 32 paintings in the series?
Well, you're going to see them with this presentation on a slideshow.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm there live, you're going to see them in person. I will take the collection with me wherever I am doing a presentation.
Wow.
Set it up.
And of course, you will be live at a number of events in a few different provinces.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know it's early days and you don't have your full schedule yet. There's still time to book you. But at those live events, you're going to have your 33 paintings, obviously copies of the book, and you to storytell to us, to read to us.
That's right.
And when you can't be there, I understand other people will step in and we'll have slideshows of the art. So now you've got us all excited. Which of the events do you know for sure that you have booked right now?
I have a 25-year retrospective of my art showing at the Cedar Center in Windsor, which will open on the 2nd of December, and I will be there for that. And then I will be in the province for a little while, and I will be doing a book tour. To date, I know that I will be speaking in Halifax at Carrefour Atlantic in the historic properties, and in Wolfville at Box of Delights. And I hope there are going to be a number of other locales.
Oh, I'm sure there will. I mean, I'm sure people are going to be wanting to book you. And I know that you have other engagements where you'll have the art and speaking across other provinces like Ontario, where you currently reside. So to find out where those events are, do you have a website that we can go to and keep a check on you?
I do have a website, and very soon it will have an events page on it. And my website is www.jockie.ca.
Oh,
nice and visit it.
Nice and simple, jockie.ca. That's great.
Just my name, .ca.
Oh, just your name, jockie.ca. That's perfect. So, and from there, they can find you on social media, because I understand you're quite a social media whiz in your finer years too.
Having fun with Facebook. Yes, please check it out.
Excellent. So we're looking forward to obviously getting our hands on that book, seeing the paintings either in their real life state or on a slideshow. And there's the book, Valley Child by Jockie Loomer-Kruger. Absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for finding that someday in your heart and going to all the work and effort it took to collect those stories you've been writing over the years, creating those paintings, pulling it together, and what a bonus to actually have you read aloud to us all. I feel like a little kid that's looking forward to chocolate pudding.
Thank you, and thanks for checking in with me this way, Cheryl-Ann.
It's been my pleasure, absolute pleasure, and I hope to check back in on you later on the tour. So take good care of yourself, and we're going to send everybody straight away to jockie.ca. Thanks, Jockie.
Thanks. Bye.